We now have a new way of authenticating against the market devices, and that is key-based authentication. So far, the way we would authenticate against the devices was by using basic credentials, username and password. That option is still there, but we also have the option of using SSH key pairs, private key, and public key for extra security. Now, first, let me show you where you can find these keys and the README file. Then I'll show you the steps and we actually configure it in the lab. If you go to the project and change to the dev branch, you're going to see this folder. Just click on this. And for testing purposes, there are the private and public keys already here. But again, if you're not testing it and you're using it somewhere a little bit more sensitive, you probably want to generate your own keys. There's also a README file, which I will open in my text editor. So let's go through the steps. The first thing you want to do is put these two parameters, auth key enabled and auth key path, into your compose file. Auth key enabled is Boolean, true or false. The path is going to be the path to your public key, which ends in .pub. The next thing you want to do is create an SSH key pair. This is the command. There are other variations using different types other than RSA, using different bytes rather than 4000. There are other versions, but this is what we have here. And the file is going to be the file name with the full path to your private key. But again, if you've used this tool before, you know that at the time of creating the private key, public key will be generated alongside with it. Now, we definitely want to set the correct permissions. Otherwise, the SSH client software, the CLI tool, is going to scream about it, and it won't let the authentication to go through. So you will change these permissions to what you see here. And if you want to connect your device using the private key, you just add the I flag, and this is going to be the path to your private key. And after that, it's just your market username and market IP address or host name. So I'm going to close this and configure everything what we see here real quick. So I will go to the compose file, and here right after SSH username and password, I am going to add the extra parameters. Done. I am going to save. And the next thing is to create the SSH key pair. I'm not going to do that. I'm just going to use what we have for testing purposes. So I will skip this step. Now I will go to terminal and switch to the auth keys folder. And from here, I'm going to change the permissions to 600 for the private key and 644 for the public key. Now, the only thing left to do is to say docker compose up and fire up the containers and see if we can log in using SSH keys. Now, from here, I can easily connect to the device using the write command, using -i for the private key and the device username and the IP address. So if I do that, it is going to connect to the device. But if you want to see extra logs, you specify -v. And here you will see that everything went through successfully. We have some SSH negotiations, and you can easily see that we skip the keyboard interactive option, which is here, and password option because we have the public key in place.